Hello, this is the 3 Degrees Podcast. My name is Randy Stone, and I'm so glad you joined me. So glad you're here. So glad you're here. We're talking about recovery basics. What's some basics in recovery? Let's unpack some relationship issues. Should a person early in recovery, should a person a few months in recovery get into relationships? And how does that look and how does that work? What about relationships in recovery? What about 13th stepping? 13th stepping is when someone goes to a meeting or someone goes to the place where there's other people for the purpose of hooking up and shacking up. What about that? If we're early in recovery, what has happened up until this point is usually life has been unmanageable and life has been full of chaos. The reason it's been full of chaos is because the individual who is early in recovery is full of chaos. And there are things that cause addiction. There are traumas, there's conditioning, there's mental health issues. There are problems that are left unsolved that cause the addiction in the first place. Otherwise, you would have a well-adjusted person just living their life doing a normal thing. So we have all these feelings and all these thoughts and ideas about life that are just not working, and we need to work or get involved in a program that will help develop those things and develop the person so we make better choices. Because remember, our best thinking or your best thinking got you in the mess that you're in the first place. And so we have to use a higher level of thinking. And so that's where a program or that's where the Word of God comes in and helps us make better decisions, better choices. And so we have a person that is, we could just say, toxic. Their life has been toxic, meaning there's always a level of chaos, an extreme level of chaos going on. Now, like attracts like. It's pretty rare that you find somebody, you look at a guy, you look at a man, you go, and then you see, he's not that attractive, but then you look at his wife and he's like, she's really attractive. And you're like, how did that happen? Everybody knows it's wrong, right? Usually people are about the same level of attractiveness. So like attracts like. And if someone is toxic, they're going to attract someone else who is toxic. And so you take toxic number one, toxic number two, and put them together, and you're going to get more toxic. And so the relationship, how people interconnect and how people communicate is toxic. There is nothing that's going to happen from that except separation. It's not, or you stay together and stay miserable. Absolutely miserable. Sometimes they get together and they bring toxic A and toxic B come together and they make a child, and then that child has to put up with toxic A and B and usually becomes toxic C. Nobody's fault, right? It's not the child's fault. It's just what happens. This is, basically a generational curse, because whatever happened to mom didn't get dealt with. Whatever happened to dad is not dealt with. And so now those ideas, feelings, and attributes are pushed on to a child, to someone else. And now that person grows up taking on their parents' toxic attitudes and then trying to function in normal life without some therapy, counseling, or something intentional to put these things straight. It's really a problem. And that problem is prevalent. And so early in recovery is not the best time to get involved in a relationship. Now someone might say, well, I have needs and this is in. Put yourself on the back burner. We have to present our bodies, Romans 12, 1 and 2, as a living sacrifice. We have to sacrifice some things now so that we can have better later on. So we sacrifice right now. We sacrifice the flesh right now so that later on, after the problems, after the issues are dealt with in our program, after that, then we can make right decisions. We're going to attract somebody else who is in a better position, and the odds of the relationship working out are so much better. The odds of it being a productive relationship are so much better. So we can't be messing around with brand new in recovery. We can't be messing around with relationships. Now, what about you? Someone might say, well, I'm already married. I'm already in one. Different dynamic. How do we? You still have to take the time and get yourself right first. Either party has to get themselves right first. Once they're right, once they're stable, then you can come in and try and make this thing go, make the relationship go forward. But unless that toxicity is dealt with first, it's unlikely that it will last anyway. It really is. And so just wait. How long does it take? How long does it take you to grow up? Normally, I'd say just about a year. Years ago in the program, they would say, don't have a relationship for like a year. That's probably true. You can get your stuff together to where you're not a big mess within a year. So put it off for a year. Get yourself right. Work on yourself. Get yourself stable so that you can have a good, healthy, productive relationship instead of, this being addicted to chaos and fighting like cats and dogs all the time. That ain't gonna be good for anyone. It ain't no good for you, no good for anyone else either. My name is Randy Stone. This is the 3 Degrees Podcast, talking about basic stuff, talking about relationships early in recovery. Don't do it. Just save yourself some time, man. Don't do it. Just put it off. Get right. Get better. Then try it. Till next time, God bless. See you soon.